Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very special in-depth, long tutorial for you guys, and if you like the longer ones, you might be in luck. So this is my client Megan. She's been coming to me for about 2 years now. She's very low maintenance. She's only 20 years old. She's in college. So she likes low maintenance and she likes it to be where she can come every 4 to 6 months. And that is exactly what happened. You know, I haven't seen her in about 5-6 months now. She was away at college and now she's back for the holidays specifically. And here's the gist. She is a natural redhead. Yes, I said it, a natural redhead. There's only been one other person on my channel that was a natural redhead that I used to take blonde, that had old color on top of it. But this client is a virgin redhead since I started doing her hair. But there are some important tips and tricks that will set you up for success when it comes to dealing with a natural redhead, because let me tell you, they do not lift like any other hair. And it's not your average blonde. So if you want to learn this technique and learn tips and tricks to carry into the salon and make you a better hairdresser, then keep watching. Also, before we go any further, hit that big like button. Give me a comment down below on videos you want to see in the future. What you thought about this one. Engage, engage, engage. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years and we're finally getting the numbers up. I care about every single individual that's following me, and I always look at each and every one of you. I'm never worried about the number of, 100,000 or 200,000, but the more people, the better, because the more followers and watchers I have, the more I can provide videos for you guys. So be sure to subscribe if you like today's content. All right, so first and foremost, when doing a redhead, a natural redhead that is, their hair does not take like the average person. It takes them a little longer to get rid of the very warm tones, and they hold on to the orange copper tones a lot longer than an average dark level 4, 3, whatever it is. They hold on to that copper orange and they don't want to let go. So what I like to do is I always let her process an extra 15 to 20 minutes on top of what I normally will do for somebody who's like an overlap permanent color or a level 1 or 2 naturally. I will let her sit from, anywhere from 50 minutes to about, I would say 70 minutes, 75 tops. And it's okay as long as you're watching it. And I encourage you to keep checking and just know what you're doing, know your client's hair. Make sure you're using Olaplex or a bond builder and great bleach, Lightener products. Make sure your client's somebody who takes care of their hair. She does everything I tell her to do, from cold water to Olaplex, Finola, all that good stuff. So I never have to worry about her. One thing that is a must is your client must use great products. They must always want to be down for a haircut or a trim at least, because every time a natural redhead goes blonde, when they come in, you are going to have to feather down through those ends or at least overlap with a lower developer, as I'm doing today, because her hair will leave a level 9, 10 and come back a level 7, 8 orange, like a dull copper. That's just facts. That's what's going to happen. She's a natural redhead. Her hair holds on to those strong copper tones. And like everybody gets brassy, her underlying pigment that holds on the most is copper. So it comes back, it finds itself together again, just like a brassy gold would on a blonde, a normal blonde. And that's what we have to deal with. So we clarify. We do all kinds of good stuff. And you can see on her ends right there as they're clipped away and they're hanging, they look like a level 8 warm, almost like a sun-kissed, very beautiful, rich strawberry blonde. And that would be absolutely great if that was our end goal, but it's not. She wants to be blonde. So most of the time I do like starting in the front, but with a client that's naturally a redhead, you always want to start in the front. Really pack those foils in. I recommend doing a tightly packed baby light, but everybody's style is different. It depends on what your client's look at the end of the goal is going to be. But most of my clients love those tightly packed baby lights, so that's what we're doing. I love Becky Miller's B board. This is the B board. I have the shorter one, the average size one, and the extra long. Would be lost without them. This is a tricky spot when you're doing detail foiling, when you first start foiling around the ear above it. So getting a board, it really, really helps. Also under the nape of the neck for the first, 5 to 6 foils up, it helps as well. So one thing you have to keep in mind is that redheads do not take color. It's almost like a sunscreen or sunblock that, deflects the sun from absorbing into the skin. And you could kind of think of a redhead like that when it comes to color. So if I went in right now and just foiled her all over with a permanent level 9, or, let's go darker, her hair is not gonna take. It is not going to take. It's almost like reverse when you don't fill the hair when you're going back from dark from blonde and you have to put the reds, the coppers, the warms, the golds, all that back into the hair. Well, with the red, it's like you need to break that down first in order for it to break through and penetrate. It is crazy. I even heard redheads actually go through anesthesia 20 times quicker than the average person. There's just so many different things with redheads. They're so unique. It's such a beautiful color. I think we would all love to have it if we could, but it's just so much work and it is worth it. A lot of people ask me when they come in for consultations and say, is it really worth it for me to want to go blonde? Is my goal achievable and possible? It is. It's just going to take a lot of work and you got to really make sure that client is dedicated to it. So all the front foils are snuggled in tightly. As you can see, I didn't take no prisoners. We used a whole box on the front of her head. She has a lot of hair. That's why we don't always do a full. I believe the last time we did a full was about a year ago. You can see all that new regrowth underneath down here and yonder in the back area. I'm still doing the same thing, nothing new. Very tightly packed baby lights back to back, minimal subsections, making sure my saturation is on point. You don't want to have lack of saturation when it comes to a redhead, especially because you will not get that lift you so desperately need and it just won't tone correctly. You're going to have to go darker instead of the color they actually wanted. You'll see a little bit later on when we get to the toning portion of this program here today on this tutorial, how her hair really doesn't take color. Demi-permanent is out of the question when it comes to trying to attempt to color a redhead naturally with a regular color without bleach. It just does not work. You will color that hair 3 times in a row and it's still not going to take correctly. So you always have to bleach the hair and lighten it out correctly in order to go darker or lighter for a redhead. And I do recommend using a permanent color, and you guys know how much I can't stand permanent, but that is a situation that calls for it. I use Demi-Permanent. Later on, I will grab Joico Lumishine. Used to be my go-to if you're an OG Brett Ryan supporter. You guys know I used to use Joico Lumishine for all of my root toning until Shades came out of the NA series. And I love Shades EQ to death, but if I were to use that on her today for her root smudge, it wouldn't do jack diddly squat. Like nothing. You'll see in a few minutes from now, but that's going to prove to you how it does not take color. Just keep watching, guys, as I get through busting all these foils out. We will let her process for a total of 75 minutes once the last foil is complete. I checked the entire time. I didn't just let her sit there and run off. I made sure I was really watching it, using a lower developer, and actually watching her hair, feeling it, making sure everything was constantly looking good. Alright, so I'm using my old Ride or Die root toning fave at the time of the beginning of my career, Joico Lumishine Liquids with the dedicated 5-volume developer, and I'm using 6N, 10 grams of that with 10 grams of 6NA. Joico, it runs a little bit warmer than Shade, so I do equal parts with the N's and NAs. And I'm just, running through her head, really making sure I'm saturating. And you'll see it looks dark, scary, like, wow, that looks darker than a 6. It looks like it's going to be very, very dark. But wait till you see what it looks like once it's done processing. Once I put this on, I let her sit for about 10 minutes. Then I tapped around her hairline. And then I actually left the root smudge on because I wanted more of a smudge-like look. Even though I knew it wasn't going to work because of her hair being red, I wanted to leave it on as long as possible for the opacity from the Joico Lumishine. And I applied the All Over Global Toner at the same time. Once I applied that tapper on the hairline, once the smudge was already on for 10 minutes, then we left them all on together, mushed them all in together for another 10 minutes, which ended up being a total of 20 minutes long. The smudge was on, 10 minutes for the All Over Toner. So like I said before, a natural level 6 would definitely lift to a perfect level of 10, definitely like a 9.5. But because she has all that orange red undertone, she doesn't get past usually a 9, which is fine. We're content with that. That's still light enough. But what I'm going to do is 2 different formulas for her global toner. We're going to do the Hairline Money Piece face frame with 10p Gold Ball Colorants, 1:1, 10 grams to 10 grams of the processing solution. And then I'm going to mix up 9V, 9P, 9GB, 10NB. That will be the global toner for everywhere else. You can see how dark that root smudge is looking as it's processing, but trust and have faith when I tell you, you'll be stunned in a minute on how that smudge didn't do a thing. But you can see by starting in the front on the hairline and doing really small detailed, tightly packed baby lights with just hairs left in between, gave us such a beautiful hairline, and she was so happy for that because now we're able to actually put a full 10 on that hairline. I could have easily just did the global toner everywhere. I did add a smidge of 10NB in there, but for the most part, we wanted to keep it as bright as possible and finally get her a level 10 money piece. For the breakdown, I know a lot of you guys like it when I actually give you exact grams and developer and 1:1, 1:2, whatever it is. So I use mostly 9p with 10 grams. That's the money, kids. I love 9p and 10p. They're my favorite. And then I did 5 grams of the V, 9V that is, 5 grams of the 9GB, and 5 grams of the 10NB. 25 grams total to 25 grams with the processing solution. Now that I tapped that money piece area, I'm going through and applying that global toner everywhere right now. And then I'll save the 10P for the hairline last for the last 4 to 5 minutes. You saw how dark that smudge was after 20 minutes? This is what we were left with. Look how a natural redhead rejects any color, especially a demi-permanent. The only thing it touched was the blonde hair that was literally lifted, and still that gave it a run for the money. It did not want to hold it all. Now you guys know why I say redheads do not lift or take color like anybody else. They're their own unique thing, and I hope this video has helped you to some extent today for you to feel confident behind the chair when you tackle your next redhead going blonde. Final result. She's obsessed, I'm obsessed, and it doesn't do it justice in here in this lighting. We're gonna try to get outside before it's too dark, and hopefully we can get an outside review or video for you. But look how beautiful and poppy and just natural, and it just looks so good. I hope you guys like it. Thank you for watching my video. As always, so long for now, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
조심하게